Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We head out west to Dodge City, Kansas for an episode of Gunsmoke. This episode, entitled The Love of a Good Woman, was originally broadcast October 9th, 1954.
Gunsmoke. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Say, look in the window over there. In the restroom, Mr. Dillon.
What?
Doc's got himself a girl.
But, well, I'll be... I never saw her before, Chester.
He's waving at us. He wants us to come in.
Oh, all right. Look, you come in and say hello and then go on out of the telegraph office, huh? Might be important.
Okay, sir. That girl must be a real good friend, Mr. Dillon, if Doc's buying her dinner.
Yeah, if he is.
He better be. Say, she ain't half ugly, is she?
I wouldn't put it exactly that way to her.
Oh, well, hello there, Matt. Chester.
Hello, Doc.
Hello, Doc.
Well, Abby. Abby, this is Marshal Dillon. And Chester Proudfoot. Abby Twilling.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Miss Twilling.
How do you do?
Sit down, sit down.
Well, thank you, Doc.
Well, I'll be back directly, Doc. I got to go across to the depot. There's a telegraph waiting for Mr. Dillon.
I'll be here, Chester.
Okay, sir. I'll hurry.
Doc's been telling me about you, Marshal.
Oh?
Oh, now, don't look at me like that now, man. And she wants to know all about Dodge. And I've been trying to tell her what to expect.
Well, in Dodge, you can expect almost anything, Miss Twilling.
So I hear.
But Abby's seen her share of violence, Matt. She was a nurse in the war.
Oh?
Well, that's how I met Doc. We worked in the same hospital for nearly a year.
Oh, best doggone nurse I ever saw. Yeah, I'm trying to talk her into settling down here. Oh, Dodge could use somebody like her.
All right, you moving on, Miss Twilling?
Why, I haven't any plans, Marshal. I've been working in St. Louis, but it's lonely, and I got restless and decided to ride the Santa Fe as far west as it goes. I'm on sort of a vacation, you might say.
Somebody on the train mentioned my name, and she looked me up right off.
Well, it's been a long time, Doc.
Oh, yeah, too long. Oh, you stay here, Abby. We'll keep you busy. Oh, yes, and who knows, maybe we'll even find you a husband. Oh, my, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right, Doc. You see, my husband was killed in the war, Marshal, the first year. That's why I went into nursing.
Oh, I see.
Well, I think I'd better get back to the hotel.
Yeah, I'll take you, Abby. Yes. You're going to wait here for Chester, Mad?
Oh, he's coming now. It is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Twilling.
Thank you, Marshal. Good night.
Good night. I'll see you later, Doc.
Sure, Mad. This way, Abby. Well, Chester.
Miss Twilling, Doc. Well, I got it, Mr. Dillon. Here you are.
Oh, thanks, Chester. Sit down while I read it, please.
Who's it from?
It's from Wyatt Earp out in Arizona.
Tis. Is he coming here?
No. No, it says, Coney Thorn released from state prison last week. I hear he's looking for you, so you better go on wearing that gun a while longer. Good luck, W. Earp.
Who's Coney Thorn, Mr. Dillon? What's he want of you?
Well, I expect he wants to kill me, Chester.
What? What for?
Well, I arrested him out in Arizona a long time ago. He was one of the suspects in the stage holdup. So I had to bring him in, even though I thought he had nothing to do with it.
Well, then why'd he go to prison?
Well, I wasn't on the jury, Chester. And anyway, I left that part of the country before he was tried. I heard later that he was sent to prison.
Well, you didn't have nothing to do with it.
No, I arrested him. And according to this telegram, he thinks I had a lot to do with it.
And he's really coming here, huh?
Coney Thorn wasn't a bad man, Chester. But prison may have changed him some. Yeah, he'll probably be here next week sometime.
October 9th, 1954, Gunsmoke on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medi-Share right now. Medi-Share is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medi-Share can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now more of Gunsmoke, Love of a Good Woman, as it was broadcast October 9th, 1954.
There were a lot of things I didn't like about being a lawman, and having to face a man who was out purely for revenge was one of them. It didn't matter what his reasons were. When Coney Thorn arrived, I'd have had to shoot it out with him. A man who'd traveled all the way to Dodge City from Arizona wasn't going to be put off by argument. However, a week passed, and he didn't show up, and I began to hope that maybe he had changed his mind. Until one day when I was sitting with Kitty watching the crowd from the porch of the Dodge house.
Well, must be supper time. Here comes the noon stage.
The way he's driving those horses, he shouldn't be late.
He's never been on time yet unless there was an Indian scare going on. Not many passengers. 3. No, another one getting out.
Yeah.
All strangers.
No, not all of them, Kitty. Not to me.
What?
That last man who got out. I've been waiting for him.
Coney Thorn?
Well, I might as well get this over with right now. Look, Kitty, you better go inside, huh?
Yeah, I sure will. Good luck, Matt.
Yeah. Hello, Coney.
Dillon?
What took you so long? I was expecting you last week.
How'd you know I was coming?
You must have told somebody.
You got friends everywhere, ain't you, Marshal?
I never thought you had anything to do with that holdup, Coney. I told you at the time I was sorry I had to take you in.
I've been 5 years in prison, Marshal, no matter what you thought.
I'm not apologizing. But you're free now, Coney. Why do you want to die?
What makes you think I'm going to die?
Well, a man in prison doesn't get much chance to handle a gun. You must be pretty rusty by now.
A lot of ways to kill a man, Marshal.
In the back?
Think about it.
Now, you've changed, Coney. You were a man once.
5 years in prison, Marshal, wasn't any good. Nearly went crazy. I would have till I got to thinking about who put me there. Had saved my mind, kind of.
Yeah, but you're out now. It's all over.
Oh, not yet. I ain't gonna fight you, Marshal. Not till I'm ready. Not till I figure out how to kill you. I'm gonna make you go crazy waiting the way I done. And I'll sleep all the better knowing you're gonna have one eye open every minute from now on.
You're not the first man who's wanted to kill me.
Maybe not. But I'm gonna be the first to do it.
Oh, good morning, man.
Hello, Doc. Well, how come you're up so early?
Well, I got a call last night, Matt, about 3 o'clock. A fellow over at the Dodge House was keeping everybody awake.
Huh? Well, it sounds more like they should have called me.
No, he wasn't drunk, Matt. He was delirious. Yeah, that's brain fever, most people call it.
Oh?
Well, I couldn't leave him there alone, so I got Abby Twilling to take a room next to his.
The first chance you got, you put her to work, huh?
Well, a man that sick has to have care, Matt.
You talk like he's going to die.
Not with Abby working on him. He isn't.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, the man's name is Coney Thorn, Matt.
What?
Yeah, he won't be up and about for another week, though.
Yeah, I thought he looked sick when he got off the stage yesterday.
Well, he was.
Well, maybe it was the fever that made him talk like he was planning to shoot me in the back.
What's that?
Yeah, that wasn't like Coney. He was never that kind of a man.
Good morning, Mr. Dillon. Doc.
Oh, good morning, Chester. Oh, where'd you get that mail at this hour?
It ain't mail, Doc. It's a telegraph here, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, sometimes I wish they'd never invented the telegraph.
Maybe it's Washington, Matt, offering you a raise.
If they'd send me last month's check by mail, I'd be satisfied. Wow.
Well, what is it, Mr. Dillon?
It's from a U.S. Marshal in Phoenix. He says if Coney Thorn has left Arizona, he's broken his parole. And if he turns up here looking for me, to arrest him.
I didn't know he was on parole.
No, neither did I. But they're willing to pay the expense of sending him back under escort.
You going all the way to Arizona with him, Mr. Dillon?
No, of course not. I'll hire somebody.
Well, you can't put that man in jail, Matt.
Well, why not?
He's too sick. And I won't have Abby nursing a man in jail. It's bad enough in the hotel.
Well, as long as he can't run away.
He'll be in bed for a week. And if you don't tell him about this, he won't run anyway.
Okay, Doc. I'll leave him alone. For a week. I kept track of Coney's progress through Doc. And the rest of Dodge did, too. Everybody in town knew he'd come there to shoot me, and it seemed like they were all waiting for him to get well and try it. And there were a number of men who'd have been right happy if he'd done it. I waited for over a week, and he was still in bed. So finally, I went over to the hotel to have a talk with him.
Oh, Marshal Dillon.
Hello, Abby. Can we come in?
Why, of course. Come in.
Thank you.
Hello, Chester.
Hello, Miss Twilling.
Oh, where's your patient?
Oh, this is my room, Marshal. He's right through there. I have it arranged this way so he won't be disturbed.
Now, is he still sick, Abby?
He's better.
Well, Doc says that he could get up.
Please, Marshal, give him a little more time, a couple of days. It's very important.
It is?
I know what he came here for. It doesn't matter to you if he stays in bed a while longer, does it?
No, but if he's well, why are you keeping him in bed?
It's good for him. Coney needs a rest like this. You've no idea how much he needs it. Please, Marshal.
Abby.
Yes?
You got to know Coney pretty well, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
What kind of a man would you say he is?
He's a good man, Marshal. But he's suffered a lot being in prison the way he was, and, well, it's like soldiers I've seen who've been through too much. They change for a while, anyway. But if they're given a chance, the right kind of a chance, they find their way back sometimes.
That's what you're doing. Giving him a chance, huh?
I'm trying, Marshal.
Well, how does he feel about it?
I'm not sure yet.
Chester.
Yes, sir?
I changed my mind about talking to Coney. Come on.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Marshal.
I guess I'll know how you make out, Abby. One way or the other.
I swear I don't understand what she was talking about, Mr. Dillon.
Well, I don't understand it either, Chester, but my guess is that Abby's fallen in love with him.
What? that don't make sense.
It seldom does. But that doesn't keep it from happening.
No, sir. My, kind of scary, ain't it?
Well, Abby's a little scared. She's not sure about Coney. But anyway, he trusts her enough to have told her about being out on parole. That's why she figured I'd heard about it and had come to arrest him.
What you gonna do?
Well, Abby asked for a couple of more days, Chester. I think she deserves them. What? Well, evening, Kitty. I just coming in to say hello.
Oh, the air's better out here, Matt. I never saw that saloon so crowded as it is tonight.
Oh, a couple of new herds arrived today.
Yeah, I know. I've danced with every cowboy that came with him. I had to get out of there while I could still walk.
Well, as long as they're dancing, they're not fighting.
Oh? You ever dance with one of them, Matt?
Is it that bad?
Oh.
Mr. Dillon? Hello, Miss Kitty.
Evening, Chester.
Mr. Dillon, right across the street there. I just seen Coney Thorn.
What? Well, where was he headed?
He was knocking on the front door of the stage office, and nobody didn't answer, so he went around back.
Oh. I'll see you later, Kitty.
Sure.
Looks like Coney's trying to run off, Mr. Dillon.
There's no stage till tomorrow morning, Chester. Besides, he doesn't know I'm going to arrest him.
Well, at least he didn't come gunning for you as soon as he got out of bed.
Well, maybe he wants to be sure of a seat on the stage first. You said he went around to the back of the office?
Yes, sir, right up the alley here.
Yeah. Look, you better stay back a little, huh?
Hmm?
Being in bed so long might have made Coney a little nervous.
Well, yes, sir.
Chester!
You all right, Mr. Dillon?
No, he didn't hit me. But I didn't hit him either. He had a horse waiting out there. Come on, if we hurry, we can still follow him. With the full moon to help us, Chester and I didn't have much trouble staying on Coney Thorn's trail once we hit it. We pulled up now and then and listened, and we could hear his horse running hard, not too far ahead of us. But he didn't run long. Coney had made a poor choice in the mount that he'd stolen, and it sold on him within an hour. We found the horse standing riderless with his head down, his legs weak and quivering.
That poor horse is plumb bedrock, Mr. Dillon. He ought to be shot.
Oh, never mind the horse, Chester. Let's find Coney.
He can't be very far. There's no place to hide out here.
There's something over there, Chester. Off to the left there.
It ain't moving.
Yeah, well, let's take a look. Look, you ride straight from here, and I'll come in on an angle.
Okay, sir.
All right, ride in, Chester, but be careful.
your dad, Mr. Dillon?
I don't know, Chester, but he's all through shooting. Here, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Bend down here, take a look.
Why, that ain't Coney Thorn.
No. Did you ever see this man before?
No, sir, I don't know who it is. He ain't dead.
No, but he's bleeding pretty bad. I'm afraid he soon will be. Who are you, fella? Hey, what's your name?
Marshal.
Yeah, that's right, I'm the marshal. Now, why did you try to shoot me back in Dodge tonight?
Can't do nothing to me now.
No harm in talking.
Heard that fellow was gonna shoot you.
That Coney Thorn?
I don't know his name. I don't know nothing about him.
Well, then what's he got to do with your trying to shoot me?
Nothing. Only I figured I could do it, and they'd blame him.
Oh, why? I never saw you before. Why did you want to shoot me?
Kill a marshal? That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? Kill a marshal?
And the conclusion of Gunsmoke, October 9th, 1954, follows these important messages here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Gunsmoke, The Love of a Good Woman, October 9th, 1954.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Didn't work. You killed me. He's dead, ain't he?
Yeah, he's dead.
Darn fool. What good would shooting you have done him?
Well, it made him feel better for some reason, Chester.
But why?
I don't know. Just the idea of shooting a marshal and getting away with it, I guess. He didn't have any more sensible a reason.
No, sir.
Well, let's get him buried. It'll be daylight before we get back to Dodge as it is. I still gotta find Coney.
There's the stage. Mr. Dillon is just about to leave. We got back just in time.
Now, why would Coney be taking the stage? He hasn't finished his business here yet.
No, but he was trying to get in the office when I seen him last night.
By heaven, there he is.
Yes, sir, and Abby, too. Now, what are they up to?
Now, let's ask him. Let him stand, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Now, don't you do a thing, Coney. It'll be all right, I tell you.
Why do you have to come back now?
Good morning.
Good morning, Marshal.
You, going someplace, Coney?
I heard about last night, Marshal. But it wasn't me shot at you. You know it wasn't.
I found the man that did it.
I ain't gonna kill you. That's all over, Marshal.
It is?
It was like being crazy, Marshal, for a long time. Then I got the fever, and Abby was there talking to me all the time, taking care of me. Now, somehow, I ain't mad at nobody.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Coney.
Being in prison so long when I was innocent, it was bad, Marshal.
Yeah. Look, Coney, you shouldn't have left Arizona. You broke your parole. I'm going to have to send you back.
He's going back, Marshal. Right now. With me.
What?
We're going to be married. And then he's going to turn himself in.
Is that true, Coney?
I'll get another year, but Abby says it's the only way.
You're going to get married, huh?
We'll make out, Marshal. But please don't arrest him here. Let him go alone with me. It isn't much. You can give him that.
Chester.
Yes, sir?
Go over to the telegraph office and write something out and send it to the marshal in Phoenix, huh?
Well, what'll I say?
Tell him thanks for the warning. And tell him if Coney Thorn did leave Arizona and came here to shoot me, I'd arrest him quick. But knowing Coney, I think he's learned his lesson. He's got more sense.
Yes, sir.
Now get going. All of you.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Vivi Janis, and James Nusser. Harley Bear as Chester, Howard McNear as Doc, and Georgia Ellis as Kitty. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
October 9th, 1954, Gunsmoke on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 2 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Primrose Matter, from October 9th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Lieutenant Cal Mervyn, Mr. Dollar, State Highway Police. They relayed your call to me.
Good. I was just checking in, Lieutenant. You said to keep in touch in case I left civilization.
Well, you haven't left it far. I recognize the number.
Oh?
You're at Jake's Bar and Grill on the Nogales Highway.
Yep.
You didn't need a uranium hunter's outfit to go prospecting in that little nugget.
Well, I'm going up into the Santa Rita Mountains around Primrose Camp.
You playing a hunch or have you got a lead?
Well, both. But at the moment, it's more hunch than lead. I just wanted you to know where to start looking in case I disappear.
Now, look, Mr. Dollar, I've got every man on the force out now looking for that gang of killers and the $100,000 payroll they stole. If I have to add you to the list, that's about all I'll need.
Relax, Lieutenant. If things work out, you may find us together.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Jake's Bar and Grill somewhere on a highway in southern Arizona. To the Home Office, Mid-States Industrial Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, The Primrose Matter. Expense account continued. Item 4, $3.60 to Jake Meager for information and incidental beverages. The Chipper Nixon gang had hijacked an armored truck in Kansas City and escaped with a $100,000 payroll. 2 nights ago, they'd shot their way through a roadblock in southern Arizona, killed a state trooper, and left one of their own members dead in the road. Then the other 3 had simply disappeared. The information from Jake? That old Pop Bardell operated a tourist camp and service station 14 miles up a dead-end road in the nearby mountains. And it seems that Pop had acquired a new nephew within the last 24 hours, a complete stranger to Jake. There was only one way to check it out. Drive up to Primrose Camp.
Howdy.
Hi, how are you?
Want me to fill up the tank?
Yeah, might as well. Probably won't take much, though. Hey, how much farther does the road go?
Just a couple of miles.
Oh, too bad. I was just starting to enjoy the scenery. Hey, you know, you're lucky living up here in the hills. Got some real pretty country around you here.
Yeah.
I thought I might spend a little time in it if I could find a place to stay. I guess there'll be some more tourist cabins on down the road.
No, these are the only ones.
Oh, well. Well, in that case, you got yourself a boarder.
Took less than 4 gallons.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't down much. Hate to get caught short, though, up here away from the highway. Now, about that cabin.
I'm sorry, we're all full up.
Oh?
You'll find some places down on the highway.
Well, there wouldn't be much point in that. I was planning to do some prospecting, get around a little on foot. This would be a good spot to work from.
I got no vacancies. How about the oil and water?
Oh, yeah, you better take a look, I guess.
Bad country for a tenderfoot. You get in a lot of trouble.
Such as what?
Snake bite, get lost, fall off a cliff. A lot of things.
Oh, I've been in a place or two before.
Best you forget it, son. Oil's all right.
It's funny, those cabins look empty. No cars parked in front of them.
They're all rented. And the water's all right, too.
Oh, who are they rented to? Vacationers? Prospectors?
I couldn't say. It'll be $1.26.
All right. Hardly worth stopping for. There you are. Keep the change.
Thanks. Call again.
Yeah, maybe I will. When Pop Bardell gets back.
I'm Pop Bardell.
You can't be. You don't fit the description.
What do you mean?
Well, I was told Pop Bardell would start talking a leg off me before I even got my mouth open. That he'd not only sell me a tank of gas, but also 2 quarts of oil I didn't really need and a handful of fake ore samples and rent me a couple of cabins whether I was planning to stay or not.
Who told you that?
Jake Meager down at the highway.
Jake. Jake's one talks too much.
Maybe.
Jake had not have said... what is it? Nephew?
You about through out there? I need a hand in here.
Yeah, I'm all through.
Oh, that the nephew Jake was telling me about?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, nice-looking fella. Arrived yesterday unexpectedly, Jake tells me.
Yeah, that's right.
Comes from Tulsa, I understand.
Tulsa? Oh, yeah, that's right, from Tulsa.
Uncle!
I'm coming. Well, now,
I got some friends in Tulsa. I wonder if he might know him.
Where are you going?
I want to say hello to your nephew.
No, you can't go in there.
Why not?
We're fumigating it. It just ain't safe.
Oh, all right. I won't go inside. But I want some cigarettes out of the machine.
I'll get them for you. Just give me the quarter.
You feel all right?
Sure.
Well, it seems to me you're kind of jumpy, on edge. I thought all you Westerners were supposed to be relaxed and easygoing.
Now, look, you want them cigarettes.
You having trouble, Uncle?
No trouble. This fella just wants some cigarettes is all.
What brand?
Chesterite.
There you are.
Thanks. Oh, here, don't you want the money for him?
You give it to my uncle here.
Yeah, sure, here you go.
Thank you.
If that's all now.
Say, I understand you're from Tulsa.
That's so?
I got a good friend down there, Clem Welke. Thought maybe you knew him.
Afraid not. Look, if there's nothing else now, you
Been there about a year. He's working on that new electric plant they're building down there. But I guess he'll be out of a job before long, though. Understand they'll have the plant done by the end of the month.
Yeah, that's right. It's about finished. Now, look, mister...
Surprised you never met Clem. But Tulsa's a big town.
Yeah, it's a big town. Come on, Uncle, let's get that stuff moved.
Well, I guess I'll drift on down the road and sleep out tonight, maybe. I got my sleeping bag. I'll probably see you on my way back, I guess.
Yeah, you do that.
There was only one thing wrong with the whole setup. To the best of my knowledge, there wasn't any new electric plant in Tulsa. I drove on past Primrose Camp 2 miles farther to the end of the road. It was narrow, unpaved, and for the most part bound by a straight drop-off on one side and a vertical cliff on the other, with no chance for a car to turn off. There were 2 fire roads for access by the Forest Service, actually nothing more than narrow trails. The turnoffs were blocked by steel cables padlocked between heavy metal posts. As far as I could tell, they hadn't been tampered with, and no car had turned into either of the trails for a month or more. It added up to one thing. There was simply no place in the area where the Nixon gang's car could be hidden. Yet I was still certain that they were here, somewhere. An hour later, I'd left my car at the road and was lying on a rocky ridge 300 yards or so above Primrose Camp, watching the place through binoculars and seeing nothing of any importance. 2 cars stopped. Sightseers, apparently. One driver had the water checked and left. A couple got out of the other car, spent 20 minutes in the lunchroom, came out and drove off. Pop Bardell came outside occasionally, his wife, too, a couple of times. But Bardell's daughter, whom Jake Meager had told me about, didn't show. Neither did the mysterious nephew. I kept on watching.
Howdy, stranger. Hunting something now, yeah?
No, not exactly.
It looked like you was.
I'm just admiring the view.
A city fella, ain't you?
Guess you can tell one every time, can't you?
Kid, when you lived alone in the mountains, long as I have, then them duds you're wearing, too. Got 'em at Dave Bright's store, didn't you?
That's right.
Dave outfits a lot of you eastern fellas. Can always tell stuff that comes from Dave's. It's got a look about it.
Hey, you wouldn't be a prospector, would you?
40 years of it, son.
You live up in these parts somewhere?
6 mile across the canyons there. Got a cabin I built myself and some claims of mine. Ain't been there for 3 weeks, though.
Oh, is that so?
No, been prospecting over toward the Rincons. Heading back home now. You're the first living soul I seen.
You haven't heard any news, then, in the last 3 weeks?
No.
My name's Johnny Dollar, by the way.
Jed Marsh. Proud to know you, son.
Howdy.
Sized you up before I spoke to you and decided to take a chance. Mighty glad to find you ain't a smart aleck like a lot of them city fellas.
Oh, it takes all kinds to make a city, Mr. Marsh.
I reckon so. Never could see why it takes some kind, so... There's Pop Bardell out in front of the station. Usually stop by and say howdy to him, but I reckon I'm going to pass it this time.
Known Pop long?
About 14 years now.
Well, then you must know his family pretty well.
Well, aside from his missus, there ain't no family, except their daughter, Jenny.
No, I was thinking of his nephew in Tulsa.
He ain't got no nephew, Mr. Dollar.
Oh? Understood he had.
He ain't got no living kin at all, except for some cousins in Virginia.
I guess I was misinformed.
Yep, that's for sure. Pop's a real lone wolf. Used to be a prospector himself years back, but he never really had the knack for it. Anyhow, he finally bought this here Primrose camp and settled down to a civilized way of living.
I'd say he got about as far away from civilization as he could.
A compromiser, that's what he is. Always fooling himself. I told him that a lot of times. Even keeps on prospecting off and on right around the camp there, when he knows there ain't no pay dirt in this rock.
Well, that's like a city man growing vegetables in a window box, I guess.
Son, I wonder if I can ask a favor of you.
Well, sure, what?
I was aiming to go on down there and get Pop to do it, but I'll have to stay all evening if I do, and I'm kind of hankering to get home.
Well, if it's anything
and
I
of
can...
course, if I go to the authorities, they'll keep me round asking questions, making statements.
What are you talking about?
If there'd been any signs of life, anything I could do to help, you understand.
Mr. Marsh, what are you getting at?
Well, over across the ridge there, in the bottom of the canyon, there's a car half buried under a rock slide.
Right easy, Mr. Marsh. We don't want to start the rest of that rock coming down.
I've been moving rock all my life, son. Hurry up. All right, it's clear. Let her go.
Now, that's good. I can get the car door open now. Watch yourself there. They had it pretty well buried, all right.
Who do you mean by they, Mr. Dollar?
It doesn't matter at the moment. Give me a hand, will you? Let's get this guy out.
All right.
That's fine. We'll lay him here on the side of the car.
It's like I figured. Couldn't be anybody left alive after rolling all the way down that slope.
This one wasn't alive before the car rolled down.
What?
He was shot by the State Highway Police.
Mr. Dollar.
They did a good job of hiding the car, temporarily at least. It couldn't have been seen from the air. The only way of finding it was to stumble onto it the way you did.
You ain't up here just for pleasure, are you, Mr. Dollar?
I'm an insurance investigator. I'm after a stick-up gang who've killed 2 bank guards and a state highway trooper. This man was one of the gang.
There ain't nobody else in the car here. Is he the gang?
There were 4 of them to start with. This is the second one who's been shot to death. There are still 2 to go.
Where you figure they are?
At Primrose Camp.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a lion's den reluctantly opens its door to let a trusting victim step inside. And the victim? Me. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
From October 8th, 1956, Part 2 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Primrose Matter, October 9th, 1956, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank this station, support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allows you to be with us each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. And our friend Ted over at RadioMemories.com has all these Yours Truly Johnny Dollar stories. Visit him on cassette, CD, or flash drive. Visit him at RadioMemories.com. If you miss a day, don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available at ClassicRadio.stream. That is ClassicRadio.stream, where you can stream our shows, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can find sites that you can download our shows from via podcast. You can also find all of our social media links. You can contact me, and if you'd like to help us acquire additional classic radio collections, you can use the Buy Me a Coffee function. All that Buy Me a Coffee money goes for us to acquire additional classic radio collections. That's at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.